Hello and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Courtney, and in today's crystal video, I'm going to be diving into the meaning behind Moldavite. Now, this isn't the first time I've talked about Moldavite here on my channel. I have made a video called My Moldavite Experience, which was talking about the first 3 months of me working with Moldavite. And since that video, it has now been 10 months that I've had Moldavite in my home. I've been working with the energy, and I feel like I have a really good understanding about Moldavite now. So I'm super excited to dive into today's video, talk about Moldavite, the meaning behind it, if you should get Moldavite, and really what to expect when you start working with Moldavite. I'm super excited to dive into today's video. So some key words for Moldavite are transformation, rapid spiritual evolution, chakra activation, cleansing, and protection. So right off the bat, one of the first things about Moldavite that's so interesting is that it's actually not a crystal. It's not made in the earth. It's actually from outer space, which is known as a tektite. It is said that the formation of Moldavite coincides with a meteor crash that happened in the Czech Republic about 14.8 million years ago. The appearance of Moldavite, it can really range in different shades of green. It's a green stone, and it kind of has like this glassy, almost like a matte glassy look to it. Something about Moldavite that I wanted to talk about is that there are a lot of fake Moldavites out there. So when you are purchasing Moldavite, take it upon yourself to do research, look at comparison photos between authentic Moldavite and fake Moldavite, and also make sure you are shopping with a trusted seller. So this is my Moldavite that I was gifted from a friend. It's super small, and what's really cool about my Moldavite is that it is in the shape of a heart. The chakras that are associated with Moldavite are all the chakras, but there is a heightened presence in our heart chakra and also our third eye chakra. Moldavite tends to disconnect one from unhealthy attachments and really magnetize the people and situations that are for your evolutionary progress. Moldavite can quite literally change your entire life. It has a way of finding out what's not working in your life, what is working in your life, and making you see those things, how things are gelling, how they're not gelling, and helping you, pushing you towards your highest destiny. Now, because of this, I do feel that a lot of people online, maybe just in general, kind of give Moldavite a really bad rap. They kind of warn people not to work with this stone, not to work with this energy. And I truly believe that when people are telling others not to work with this stone, I felt like they weren't ready for Moldavite. And that's the biggest key with Moldavite, is making sure you're ready to work with Moldavite. Now I would love to transition over to if you should get Moldavite. I'll still be talking about the energy of Moldavite and talking about my own personal experiences, but we're going to transition over a little bit to if you should get it. One of the most notable things about getting Moldavite, when you're physically deciding if you should get it or not, is when you have Moldavite in your hand, you can experience a Moldavite flush. I really touched upon this in my Moldavite experience video. If you want to hear my experience and also see me getting my Moldavite for the first time, opening up, I did it all on camera. I thought it'd be fun to show you guys, so you can check that out. But it is known, when you get Moldavite, you can have this feeling inside like a hot flash. You can get a headache, it can be very jarring to the body. Because of this, Moldavite might be one of the most easiest felt crystals with sensing the energy. With that being said, if you know you are really sensitive to energy, or maybe you're an empath, this is something to be mindful of when, handling Moldavite for the first time, is just making sure that you're aware of these side effects. Some things to take stock in when you are considering if you should get Moldavite is really taking a second to think about all the things that are going on in your life currently. If you are going through kind of like a hard time, a major change in your life, or maybe you're not in the best state of mind, what can happen when you bring Moldavite into your life, when those themes are going on in your life, is that it can really magnify those issues, those problems, to help you realize what the root of the problem is. What is the root of why you're feeling this way? And that can kind of cause more kind of chaos in your life. It is just really key and important to really think about bringing Moldavite into your life. You really want to make sure that you're ready, and that honestly, sometimes you're picking up the signs from the universe that Moldavite is calling to you. That's another big element with if you should get Moldavite, is if you're starting to get that Moldavite calling. Part of the magic of Moldavite is having that deep-seated, kind of voice in your head, or having these synchronicities pop up about Moldavite that you're like, wow, it really feels like a sign. I feel like I'm ready. I keep seeing it. I think I'm gonna get it. I think I'm gonna try this out. That's a really good indicator that Moldavite is calling to you and that you are meant to work with Moldavite. If you decide that you're ready for Moldavite, you feel like it's a sign, you've been getting those pings, one of my tips for you guys out there is to really acclimate to the energy of Moldavite. This is what I did, and I talked about in my Moldavite experience video. I knew that the energy can be kind of intense, so I really made it a point to slowly start working with Moldavite. I feel like when we first get Moldavite, we kind of are a little nervous, and we might put a little bit too much expectation on our experience. We might think we know what's gonna happen, or we just have a feeling inside that something's gonna happen. And personally, I feel like it's best if you have no expectations going into it. You don't put pressure on your Moldavite to bring something to you or to transform something in your life. You really wanna be patient with Moldavite and just wait it out and see what happens. One of the most important things to be mindful of, to keep in your mind's eye when you first get Moldavite and you're starting to work with it, is that Moldavite is a spiritual talisman. It is here for your spiritual growth and your evolution. It can put you on a path that you didn't even know you were heading. So just keep that in mind when you are working with the energy. Some tips for getting acquainted with Moldavite. When you get Moldavite, you're starting to work with it. Like I said, in my Moldavite experience video, I talked about acquainting with the energy. Personally, I think it's great, if you could spend about 30 minutes a day with Moldavite during that first week. That's as much time really that I spent with it. And I was thinking about it a lot. You kind of get that, that Moldavite calling, you're just thinking about it a lot. It's like this newfound love in your life. But just be careful not to spend too much time with it during that first week that you are working with it. After about a week, maybe a week and a half, I would say you could then work with it a little bit more. You could try experimenting with sleeping with Moldavite under your bed, under your pillow, under your mattress, wherever, having it be next to you when you're sleeping to see if it affects your dreams. I feel like Moldavite is a really fun crystal to experiment with for dreaming. So definitely, if you want to bump up how much you're using it, I would say a good kind of indicator would be waiting about 10 days and then working with it a little bit more. Another really common way of working with Moldavite is by wearing Moldavite. Moldavite jewelry is so popular, and I feel like it's the same thing. We should acquaint to the energy, hold your jewelry piece for the first week for 30 minutes or so. And then after about 10 days, then I'd say you could start wearing it as much as you'd like, getting in that crystal frequency or Moldavite frequency 24/7. But yeah, I personally wouldn't suggest putting on the crystal jewelry piece right in the beginning. I want to be honest with you guys, and I want to make sure that you feel okay when you're experimenting with Moldavite. So I do really suggest that you acquaint to the energy. So it has been 10 months since I got Moldavite, and really to kind of give another update with how I'm doing with Moldavite, what I've noticed. Something that's really fun that I've noticed with Moldavite is pairing it with other crystals, kind of like how clear quartz really amplifies the other stone that it's paired with. Moldavite does the same thing, but it does it in a more Moldavite magical way. Some crystal pairings that I've experimented with Moldavite are gold rutilated quartz and Moldavite, which had a very big manifestation happen in my life, which was really awesome, that I talked about in that first video with Moldavite. And then more recently, in the past month, I've been pairing Moldavite with Herkimer Diamond. And this is a really good pairing. I've heard of this pairing before. Other people experimenting with Moldavite, they suggest, try pairing Moldavite with Herkimer Diamond, see what happens. It has a way of kind of re-energizing, revamping the energy after like a long period of time that you've been working with Moldavite. I do think that we kind of wane from the energy of Moldavite after about 6 months. I know for me, looking back on my experience, it was kind of like this lull had happened with Moldavite. I wasn't thinking about it as much. I wasn't really working with it. It was still around me, but it definitely went into the backdrop. And then kind of like all of a sudden I was thinking about it again. I was working with the energy, and then I happened to get some Herkimer Diamond, and I was literally like, oh my gosh, I should do a pairing and see what happens. So this past month, I have really experimented with what it's like to revamp the energy of Moldavite with Herkimer Diamond. Some tips out there if you have Moldavite and it's been quite a while, since your first interaction with Moldavite. That's kind of like when it's the most kind of like, ooh, it's this thing, I have Moldavite, it kind of fades. Some tips if you want to kind of feel that energy again. I know that's a common thing, like, oh, I'm not feeling this connection with Moldavite as strong as I used to. Moldavite is a stone that you do kind of need to cleanse frequently. So if you're not really feeling that connection that strongly, I would say, cleanse however you like to cleanse. And also charging in the sun. I feel like the sun is really nice for Moldavite. So doing some sun charges will help revamp that energy for you. And also, try pairing it with another stone. Set an intention with your Moldavite and another stone. I feel like that helps revamp the energy too. Really wrapping up, this video, what to expect when working with Moldavite, what I've noticed from my own experiences and really from the collective consciousness is that Moldavite is going to confront you with the limitations that you have set on your life. And Moldavite is going to explode those limitations to help you realize that you can do the things that you limit yourself, thinking you can't do something. Moldavite is gonna show you, yes, you can. One of the gifts Moldavite has given me is really putting me on a new career path. I was a little nervous, I knew I wanted to switch careers, but having the events happen the way they did, it was just such a confirmation, and it felt so in alignment with where I was going. And I am so grateful for Moldavite really helping me see that and to go out and do it and try it out. And I'm very grateful for that whole experience. In the past month, since I have revamped really my energy with Moldavite, doing a new crystal pairing with Herkimer Diamond and my Moldavite, something that has happened and transformed in my life is finding a new apartment. Me and my boyfriend have been looking for an apartment for a couple months, and I'm just gonna bring this up, but I did this pairing, and probably within 3 weeks after I did this pairing, we found our apartment. We found our new apartment, and it was just so in alignment, so perfect, and it felt like another little gift from Moldavite, really bringing something into my life that I was really seeking and calling in. And I'm just really excited for our next move and our next chapter, really. So those two examples I just gave were really some external transformation going on in my life. I did want to just touch on, Moldavite working and transforming us internally. There is a transformation inside of us that takes place when we are working with Moldavite. Sure, we can have external situations change. Maybe they seem, really good and positive and great. But we all also have to be mindful of what can happen inside. I will say, Moldavite can really make you do a lot of shadow work. This transformation progress, it's not always going to be, this super positive, amazing things going on in your life. You're going to be confronted with issues. You might feel down with your energy, and you're going to slowly start to realize why you're feeling that way. You're going to find, the root to your problems, and you're going to start working with it, and you're going to start working at it. And eventually you're gonna grow, and you're gonna reflect and see why all those things were happening in your life and how they all coincide together. Honestly, if you are feeling like you are ready to work with Moldavite, you have this calling, you have this sense inside of you knowing that it is your time to work with Moldavite, I really do say go for it. Don't have fear, don't be scared, don't set limitations on what you think is gonna happen. Be patient and just let Moldavite infuse your life with its blessings, because I promise you there will be blessings, through all the inner work you're doing and just the situations that may ebb and flow in your life. I promise you, if you stay true to your intentions and you believe in yourself, you believe in your Moldavite, I promise you really amazing things can happen in your life. Alrighty guys, so that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you want to check out my Moldavite experience video where I talk about the first 3 months of working with Moldavite, I show me, kind of holding Moldavite for the first time, kind of seeing that whole experience for me, I'll definitely link that video down below for you to check out. If you liked today's video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you would like to share any stories or experiences you have had with Moldavite, I would love to hear them in the comments, and I'm sure someone in this growing community would love to hear about your experience as well, so please don't be shy. If you are new here, I would love it if you subscribed. Again, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in my next one.